That was what we were promised by FDLE when we...
They called us and said they have a warrant and come arrest you.
This was the moment when years of complaints finally caught up with Rebecca Furley. Arrested and charged with abuse and neglect, she'll soon stand trial for the death of a 75-year-old Navy veteran named Stephen Stryker, who a judge placed in her care. Stryker had a medical condition that made it difficult to swallow. Investigators say his guardian signed a do not resuscitate order without court approval, even though the ward expressed a desire to live. According to this Inspector General report, Stryker's family and healthcare surrogate pleaded with Furley to remove the DNR, but she refused, saying she files DNRs for wards regularly. Then in 2019, while hospitalized in Tampa, Stryker choked, lost consciousness. The medical staff was unable to attempt to resuscitate him, and he died.
She's a huge example of everything that's wrong with the guardianship system.
As a guardianship reform advocate, Dr. Sam Sugar has researched countless abuse cases and tells the I-Team this is the worst he's seen.
So I call her the apex predator in probate.
Rebecca Furley was a Medicaid specialist at a hospital in Central Florida. That's when she began her other career as a professional guardian, and it's believed that's how she met many of her future wards. In just a few years, Furley built the largest guardianship enterprise in the state, managing more than 400 wards across 19 counties, controlling everything from their medical care to their money. She petitioned the court for many of these wards, but in other cases, judges and even hospitals recommended her.
She has done things that no other guardian in the history of Florida has ever done. Her volume, the money haul, the influence she had with the judges is astonishing. She could do no wrong.
But the CBS 12 News I-Team uncovered complaints and accusations of abuse against Rebecca Furley going back years. One of the first reports came from an unlikely source. This Gainesville polka musician named Angela Woodhull. She is also a published author, and perhaps most important, a licensed private investigator. Angela began looking into Rebecca Furley after a judge appointed Rebecca the guardian of Angela's mother, Louise. Did you or your mother have any interactions with Rebecca?
Never. I have never spoken to this woman, ever.
What about your mother? Did she deal with her much?
She never met her, ever.
So how could she possibly make decisions in your mother's best interest?
She can't.
That's a camera, Mom.
Angela tried to fight the guardianship by taking this video of her mother in a nursing home.
I hate this place.
Why? Why do you hate this place?
I want out of here.
This horrible stuff. This is like out of a horror film.
She says it showed her mother still had mental capacity and didn't need a guardian.
She was astute.
But a judge disagreed, and Rebecca Furley stopped allowing unsupervised visits. Louise's condition quickly deteriorated, and she died just 3 months later.
I wish I could pull her out of the camera and give her a big hug and tell her how sorry I am that all of this happened to her. I think she would say the same.
Louise went into guardianship with a $1 million estate, her daughter estimates, but at the time of her death, she was essentially penniless. Angela blames Rebecca Furley for draining the accounts.
I started to get the feeling, since I am a licensed private investigator, this cannot be. If they're doing this to me, I think they're doing this to other people.
Angela tracked down and interviewed families of 15 other wards and compiled this report, detailing dozens of allegations of missing money and property. She sent it to local and state police, even the Florida Attorney General. But for 12 years, she says, no one listened, and Rebecca Furley's guardianship practice kept growing. In 2012, she was given control of Shirley Blake, an Alzheimer's patient with $3 million in assets.
When you interacted with Rebecca, what was she like?
Horrible. She was rude, pushy.
Shirley's daughter, Robbie, tells the I-Team Rebecca moved their mother to a nursing home far from family and threatened to cut off their visitation.
Little by little, every asset that my mother had disappeared.
By the time Shirley died in 2016, Robbie says $2 million were gone. She wants Furley's finances investigated.
Someday they're going to make a documentary about this woman, the story of Rebecca Fairley, and the facts, the truth is far worse than any fiction you can come up with.
To this day, Rebecca Furley has not been charged with any financial crime. But according to this audit by the Orange County Clerk's Office, Furley collected at least $4 million in fees that were not approved by the court, and she was caught double billing her clients. The case took a shocking and morbid turn when a raid of her Orlando office turned up the cremated remains of 9 people believed to be her wards. Police have been working to identify those ashes so they can be returned to their families.